Welcome back. Leaders in Illinois are speaking out against President Trump's threat to deploy the National Guard to Chicago. Here a little while ago is the state's governor, J.B. Pritzker.
What President Trump is doing is unprecedented and unwarranted. It is illegal. It is unconstitutional. It is un-American.
Now, you see a smattering of Democratic leadership there behind the governor. If you know Illinois politics, you saw the lieutenant governor, its senators, other leaders. But there are other leaders beyond political leaders who are concerned about this. And one of those is Bill Daley, who joins us now. He, of course, was one of President Obama's chiefs of staff and, of course, has long political ties to Chicago, as both his father and brother once served as Windy City mayor. Bill Daley, thank you so much for joining us. I want to start by asking you, crime is down in Chicago compared to last year. How would you currently assess the state of safety there in the city?
Well, perception is reality when it comes to crime. I don't care what the numbers show. If people feel unsafe, then that has to be addressed. I live in Chicago. I go wherever I want to go. Yes, there is a crime issue. There are in most parts of the country, whether they're red states, blue states. It doesn't mean that you send in the military and soon to be the Department of War and send those members of the War Department into cities to occupy them. Your colleague earlier in the show talked about maybe this is just cover for immigration action. If that's the case, then the president ought to say, this is why we're doing it. It's not really about the crime that may or may not be happening in these cities. We have one of the greatest police departments in the country, the Chicago Police Department. They're out there, the men and women every day, protecting people, serving them, and they do a great job. Can they do better? Yes. Do they need resources? Yes. The president really wants to do something about crime in Chicago or any other city, then as the congressman said, do something about the illegal guns that proliferate America today. But nobody wants to talk about that.
At least the White House doesn't. You are, of course, well connected not only to the political scene in that city, but to the business community as well, broader society. It's been a few days of this. I imagine it's been the topic of conversation. Is there concern among business leaders or the Visitors Bureau that this could have an adverse effect on the local economy?
Yes, no doubt about it. But again, we can't be cold to the fact that there is crime that happens in Chicago, and those of us who are concerned about it want to see the police department maybe do a better job, but they're doing a great job. But to bring in the military to occupy a city and think that that is going to solve a crime problem, it may for a day or two just because they're able to blanket a neighborhood. But that's not a long-term solution to crime anywhere in America. I don't care if it's a blue city or a red city. That's not reality. And the president, I think it's a great show. It's great talking points. It's a lot of energy to be expended and not talk about other issues. But to actually solve the crime problem that happens throughout America, to think that we could send soldiers and military into every city. And it is ironic that these are just, quote, blue cities, overwhelmingly Democratic, where there is crime in cities that do happen in red states.
Right. And not only blue cities or Democratic-controlled cities, but most of the ones he's discussing also controlled by black mayors. How do you assess how the mayor and Governor Pritzker more broadly are handling this? You talk about the police force. Is there something more the political leaders can be doing?
Well, I think that both political leaders, and look at the mayor's job is the worst job in America, and having seen a father and brother do it, it's a tough job. But I think the governor's brought resources. I think the state is focused on it. The city's been focused on it. Again, the leadership of the police department, I think, is doing a good job. But we can do better, and they can do better. And I think maybe what comes out of this, though, will be that the political leadership will refocus not only on short-term solutions, but so many of these, the basis of the crime in the cities and rural America is the proliferation of illegal guns. I'm not talking about those gun owners who have every right in the world to own a gun and to use that gun in an appropriate way. But I'm talking about the illegal guns. There are millions and millions. There's more guns in America than there are people in America. And a vast majority of them are illegally owned.
Well, Bill Daley, of course, longtime Chicago-based businessman and leader, and a former White House chief of staff. Any White House chief of staff has seen just about everything. So we appreciate your perspective, and glad you were able to join us today.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it very much.
All righty. Take care.